When you think of a bagel, you probably picture a soft, golden ring of dough that feels like comfort in its simplest form. It's warm, chewy, and satisfying, often paired with cream cheese or butter as a quick morning ritual. But beneath that familiar texture and taste, there's a truth most people don't see. Not all bagels are created equal, and the difference between one that supports your health and one that sabotages it can be enormous. Most commercial bagels are made from highly refined white flour, stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, leaving behind little more than empty calories. This refined flour turns to sugar almost instantly in your bloodstream, spiking your glucose levels and forcing your body to release a surge of insulin. What follows is an energy crash, mid-morning fatigue, and cravings for even more carbohydrates to fill the void. The bagels sitting on supermarket shelves or in chain bakeries are often designed for taste and shelf life, not nutrition. To make them soft and chewy, manufacturers use dough conditioners, stabilizers, and artificial enzymes that help mass produce them quickly. These chemicals give bagels that perfect texture, but leave your body to process ingredients it doesn't recognize. Because refined flour doesn't satisfy hunger for long, you're likely to reach for another bagel or snack soon after. This endless cycle of eating, crashing, craving more food keeps your blood sugar unstable and your metabolism sluggish. Then comes the hidden sugar. Even plain bagels that seem innocent can contain several teaspoons of added sugar to enhance flavor and browning during baking. Add flavored varieties like cinnamon raisin or blueberry, and you're consuming the equivalent of a dessert disguised as breakfast. The issue isn't just about calories. It's about how those calories interact with your body's natural systems. When your body constantly battles sugar spikes and crashes, it struggles to maintain hormonal balance, burns fewer calories efficiently, becomes more prone to storing fat, especially around the midsection. Over time, these seemingly harmless breakfast choices can contribute to insulin resistance, chronic fatigue, and inflammation. Bagels also tend to be extremely dense in carbohydrates without any real balance of nutrients. A single large bagel can have as many carbs as 4 slices of white bread, with barely any fiber or protein to slow digestion. That means your body digests it quickly, turning it into glucose that floods your bloodstream. The temporary boost in energy feels great at first, but within an hour or two your energy drops sharply, leaving you drained and irritable. If you combine this with sugary coffee or flavored cream cheese spreads, your blood sugar roller coaster gets even worse. It's an invisible trap that feels normal because so many people start their day this way. What makes things worse is that many people believe bagels are a better option than pastries or donuts. The marketing and cultural familiarity around bagels make them seem like a harmless staple of a balanced breakfast. But from a nutritional perspective, a standard bagel offers little more than quick, burning starch and salt. Some even contain processed oils like soybean or palm oil, which create inflammation in the body and negatively affect heart health over time. You might not taste these oils, but your body feels their impact through slower digestion, bloating, and reduced metabolic efficiency. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs awareness. The difference between a wholesome start and an energy-draining breakfast lies in the ingredients and how they work inside you. If you're eating a bagel made from refined flour, synthetic additives, and hidden sugars, you're essentially feeding your body fuel that burns too fast and leaves you empty. The illusion of fullness fades quickly, but the metabolic cost lingers. Every bite becomes a signal to your system to crave more of the same, to store more fat, and to operate below its best. That's why not all bagels are created equal. Some fuel your body while others quietly take from it. Walk down any grocery store aisle, you'll see words like whole grain, multi-seed, natural, and high protein printed boldly across bagel packages. These words are designed to catch your attention, to convince you that you're making a smart, health-conscious choice. You feel like you're choosing something better, something that fits your goals of eating cleaner and feeling better. But behind those appealing labels lies a much different reality. Many of these so-called healthy bagels are nothing more than refined flour, processed oils, artificial ingredients dressed up with marketing language. The deception works because people associate certain words with wellness without realizing that food companies exploit that association to sell more of the same unhealthy products. The truth is, food labels are often structured to mislead, not inform. For example, when a bagel is labeled whole grain, it doesn't necessarily mean it's made entirely from whole grains. In many cases, only a small fraction of the flour used is whole grain, while the rest remains refined white flour that spikes your blood sugar and offers little nutrition. Manufacturers are allowed to use these claims as long as a certain percentage of whole grain exists in the recipe, even if it's minimal. Similarly, multi-seed doesn't automatically mean nutritious. Seeds might be sprinkled on top for appearance, but the base remains the same nutrient, poor dough that drains your energy rather than sustaining it. These labels are clever illusions that prey on your desire to be healthy without offering true substance. Another common trick is the high-protein label. Protein is a buzzword in today's food culture because it's associated with strength, energy, and fitness. But many bagels labeled high protein don't actually get their protein from natural, nutrient-rich sources like eggs, quinoa, or legumes. Instead, they rely on protein isolates, highly processed powders stripped of other nutrients and added back into the dough purely for marketing appeal. These protein isolates might slightly raise the number on the nutrition label, but they do little to improve the quality of the food itself. What you end up with is a bagel that looks impressive on paper, but still behaves like junk food in your body. The deception doesn't stop there. Phrases like made with natural ingredients, no artificial colors, or fat-free are meant to sound reassuring, but they don't tell the whole story. Natural isn't a regulated term, which means companies can use it even when their products are full of refined sugars, preservatives, and emulsifiers. No artificial colors doesn't mean no chemicals. It just means they've replaced synthetic dyes with natural colorants while keeping the same harmful additives elsewhere. Fat-free. That one's a classic marketing trick. When fat is removed, flavor disappears too, so companies compensate by adding sugar and salt. You end up consuming a product that tastes good, but throws your metabolism out of balance and encourages overeating. The serving sizes printed on the labels can be misleading. A bagel package might list the calories and sugar content for "off a bagel," when in reality, most people eat the entire thing without realizing they're doubling their intake. This makes the nutrition facts appear cleaner and more reasonable, tricking consumers into thinking they're making a controlled, moderate choice. The end result is a breakfast that looks healthy on the surface, but acts like a sugar bomb once digested. These deceptive tactics have become so normalized that people rarely question them. The colorful packaging, the bold claims, and the health-themed language all work together to create the illusion of wholesomeness. When people choose these better bagels, they feel good about themselves, like they've made a small, smart decision for their body. And that's exactly what food companies want. They want your trust, your repetition, your routine, because once a product becomes part of your daily life, it no longer feels like a choice. It feels like a habit. Over time, you stop questioning it. You start believing that the sluggishness after breakfast, the mid-morning cravings, and the lack of focus are just normal parts of life. But they're not. They're the results of deceptive foods that keep your body running on low-quality fuel while convincing your mind that you're doing the right thing. Real health doesn't come from labels, it comes from ingredients. A truly nutritious bagel doesn't need exaggerated claims or flashy packaging. It's made with simple, whole ingredients like stone, ground grains, natural starters, and minimal sugar. It nourishes instead of deceiving. The key is learning to see past the packaging, to read the ingredient list rather than the front of the bag. The first ingredient should always be whole grain or an unrefined flour, not enriched wheat or bleached flour. If there are words you can't pronounce or ingredients you wouldn't use in your own kitchen, that's a red flag. Once you start seeing the truth behind these labels, it becomes impossible to unsee it. You realize how much power marketing has over your daily food choices, and how easy it is to take back that control simply by paying attention. The bagel brands that dominate supermarket shelves often look harmless, even comforting. Their packaging is bright, familiar, filled with promises of freshness and taste. But what lies inside those bags is far from the wholesome breakfast many people imagine. The hidden dangers in common bagel brands come from their ingredients, their processing, and the way they affect your body long after you've eaten them. Most of these mass-produced bagels are created for convenience and profit, not nourishment. They're built to last longer on shelves, to feel soft for days, to deliver the same flavor every time, but at the cost of your energy, metabolism, and long-term health. A typical commercial bagel contains more carbohydrates than most people realize. One large bagel can hold the same amount of carbs as 4 slices of white bread. When you eat that many refined carbs at once, your body converts them into glucose almost instantly, causing a sharp rise in blood sugar levels. Pancreas responds by flooding your system with insulin, a hormone that helps move sugar into your cells. For a short time you feel energized, but soon after, your blood sugar crashes, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving more sugar. This roller coaster effect is exhausting for your body and can eventually lead to insulin resistance, a condition that makes it harder to burn fat and easier to gain weight. The cycle becomes a trap. The more you eat, the more you crave, and the less satisfied you feel. The danger doesn't stop with carbs. Many bagel brands rely on ingredients that seem harmless but are far from it. High fructose corn syrup, cheap sweetener found in many processed foods, is often added to enhance flavor and improve browning during baking. It's highly addictive, and research shows it contributes to inflammation, fatty liver, and metabolic disorders. Processed oils like soybean, palm, and canola oil are also common. These oils are refined using heat and chemicals, stripping them of nutrients and creating unstable compounds that increase oxidative stress in your body. Over time, this inflammation can affect your heart, skin, digestion, and even your mental clarity. Then there are the preservatives and dough conditioners. Ingredients like calcium propionate, azodicarbonamide, and mono and deglycerides are used to extend shelf life and make the dough rise faster. They might make the bagel look fresh and soft, but your body doesn't benefit from them. Some of these additives have been linked to allergic reactions and digestive issues, while others interfere with nutrient absorption. Your body has to work harder to process them, wasting energy that could be used for healing, repair, and metabolism. It's like feeding your body something that looks like food but behaves like a chemical mixture. Another hidden problem lies in sodium. Many bagel brands contain extremely high levels of salt, sometimes more than 500 milligrams per serving. Excess sodium might not seem like a big deal at first, but over time it increases blood pressure, puts stress on the kidneys, and contributes to water retention. That's why many people feel bloated or sluggish after eating a store-bought bagel. What seems like a light breakfast can leave you feeling heavy and lethargic before the day has even begun. Combined with the lack of fiber, this kind of meal does little to support your digestion or balance your gut bacteria. Some brands try to disguise these problems by offering flavored versions, cinnamon raisin, blueberry, onion, everything bagels, but these variations often make things worse. The flavored ones usually contain added sugars, artificial colors, natural flavors, which are chemical compounds designed to mimic the taste of real food. Each addition makes the bagel taste better but lowers its nutritional value even further. The result is food that stimulates your senses but leaves your body undernourished. You might feel temporarily satisfied, but that satisfaction doesn't last because your body is still searching for the nutrients it didn't receive. What's most concerning is how normalized this has become. People have been eating these bagels for decades, unaware of how their daily breakfast could be contributing to fatigue, weight gain, or poor focus. Because these foods are marketed as quick, convenient, even healthy, most consumers never question what's really inside. The hidden sugars, oils, and preservatives become part of everyday life, silently shaping how your body feels and functions. You start your day with a meal that spikes your energy briefly, only to leave you craving caffeine or another carb-heavy snack within hours. That constant hunger, irritability, mid-morning crash isn't random. It's the body's response to being fed low-quality fuel disguised as nutrition. Avoiding these brands isn't just about avoiding calories. It's about breaking free from foods that manipulate your biology. The more processed and refined the ingredients, the less your body recognizes them as real nourishment. The more additives and oils, the more inflammation and fatigue you feel over time. Choosing better food isn't about restriction. It's about understanding that what you eat directly influences how you think, move, and feel every day. Once you see the hidden dangers behind these bagel brands, it becomes clear that convenience isn't worth the cost to your health and energy. Amid the sea of unhealthy, over-processed bagels, there are a few brands quietly rewriting what breakfast can be. These are the brands that understand food isn't just about taste or texture. It's about fuel balance and how your body feels long after you've eaten. The rise of clean, nutrient-dense bagels isn't a trend, it's a shift in awareness. More people are realizing that the foods they choose in the morning can shape their energy, focus, and mood for the entire day. Instead of relying on refined flour and added sugars, these better brands are turning to natural, whole ingredients that give your body the nourishment it actually craves. What sets these bagels apart is their foundation. Instead of bleached, enriched wheat flour that's been stripped of nutrients, they use sprouted grains or almond oat or coconut flour. Ingredients that retain their natural fiber, vitamins and minerals. Sprouted grains, for example, are grains that have begun to germinate, unlocking enzymes that make nutrients easier to digest and absorb. This process increases the levels of essential amino acids, iron and B vitamins, while reducing the anti-nutrients that often cause bloating or discomfort. When you eat a sprouted grain bagel, your body processes it differently. It digests more slowly, releases energy gradually, and supports stable blood sugar levels. Instead of crashing after breakfast, you stay fuller and more focused for hours. The same goes for bagels made with almond or oat flour. Almond flour brings in healthy fats, protein, and vitamin E, which help reduce inflammation and improve heart health. It also contains fewer carbohydrates than traditional flour, making it easier on your blood sugar. Oat flour, on the other hand, adds soluble fiber in the form of beta-glucans, which support digestion and help lower cholesterol levels. These ingredients don't just replace refined flour, they transform what the bagel does inside your body. You're no longer eating for quick satisfaction. You're eating for sustained nourishment. Every bite carries nutrients that feed your brain, muscles, and metabolism. Another innovation in clean bagel brands is the use of fermented dough. Fermentation is an ancient process that pre-digests the gluten and starches in grains, making the final product easier for your body to handle. The good bacteria created during fermentation support gut health, which is deeply linked to immune function and even mood regulation. A fermented or sourdough-style bagel isn't just softer and richer in flavor. It's better for your digestion and overall balance. These brands focus on time-honored techniques instead of shortcuts, trading fast factory production for slower, more mindful preparation that honors both flavor and wellness. What's also notable about these nutrient-dense bagels is what they leave out. There are no hydrogenated oils, artificial preservatives, or high-fructose corn syrup. Instead, natural ingredients like olive oil, flax seeds, chia seeds are used to add moisture and texture. These seeds bring in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and plant-based protein, giving your body the raw materials it needs to function at its best. Even the sweetness in some varieties comes from natural sources like dates or honey, used sparingly to enhance flavor without spiking blood sugar. When you read the ingredient list of one of these cleaner bagels, you can recognize everything on it, a simple, powerful sign that your food is real. Beyond ingredients, these brands are redefining how food makes you feel. When you eat a nutrient-dense bagel, your body responds differently. You don't feel sluggish or heavy afterward. You don't get that hollow hunger an hour later that makes you reach for another snack. Instead, you feel balanced. Your energy rises naturally and stays steady. Your concentration improves because your blood sugar isn't swinging up and down. And because your digestion is smoother, you avoid that bloated, uncomfortable feeling that often comes with processed foods. This is what eating for vitality feels like. Food that truly supports the body's rhythm rather than working against it. The shift toward these cleaner, smarter options is also about awareness and empowerment. For years, people accepted the idea that convenient food had to be unhealthy. But these newer brands are proving that convenience and health can coexist. You can have the comfort of a warm, chewy bagel without the side effects of chemicals or refined sugar. You can have flavor without sacrificing well-being. It's about choosing foods that honor both your taste buds and your body's intelligence. When you start eating this way, you begin to notice subtle but meaningful changes. Your mornings feel lighter, your mood more stable, and your focus sharper. Start to crave real food instead of processed snacks because your body finally recognizes what true nourishment feels like. Clean, nutrient-dense bagels are more than just an upgrade to your breakfast routine. They're a reflection of a deeper shift toward mindful living. They remind you that health isn't about restriction or deprivation, it's about alignment. Every ingredient you choose either supports or drains your energy. When you choose the kind of bagel that's made with intention and integrity, you're choosing more than food. You're choosing a better way to live. Every healthy lifestyle is built on small, consistent decisions that seem simple but carry long-term power. Choosing what to eat in the morning may not feel like a major decision, yet it sets the tone for the entire day. The bagel you pick, the ingredients inside it, the way it fuels your body can influence how you think, move, and feel hours later. Most people underestimate how much impact these everyday food choices have. They see breakfast as a quick routine, something to get through before the real day begins, but in truth, it's one of the most important signals you send to your body and mind. When you start your day with highly processed food, you're telling your body to expect short bursts of energy followed by fatigue. When you start it with something nourishing and real, you create the foundation for steady focus, better mood, and stronger health over time. Health isn't achieved through massive transformations or rigid rules, it's created through awareness. The simple act of reading a food label, choosing whole ingredients, being mindful of what you're putting into your body changes everything. Each choice compounds. One cleaner breakfast leads to more energy, which leads to better decisions throughout the day, which leads to a stronger metabolism, and so on. This is how real health builds itself, quietly, gradually, powerfully. People often chase big fixes, new diets, or trends that promise fast results, but those rarely last. What lasts are the small, daily choices made with intention. Even swapping your regular bagel for one made with sprouted grains, almond flour, or oat flour can create ripple effects that reach far beyond one meal. When you choose better food, you start to treat your body differently. You begin to see food not as comfort or convenience, but as energy and information. Everything you eat communicates something to your body, either to heal and strengthen it or to wear it down. The human body is remarkably responsive, rewards consistency, not perfection. That's why even one improved habit, repeated daily, becomes a powerful form of self-respect. You're not just feeding your hunger, you're supporting your future. A bagel may seem like a small detail, but it can be the difference between feeling sluggish and sharp, foggy and focused, drained and driven. This mindset extends beyond food. It's about how you view the choices you make every day. Health doesn't come from a place of guilt or punishment, it comes from awareness and self-care. When you decide to replace low-quality, processed food with something real, you're reminding yourself that you deserve better. Better energy, better focus, better quality of life. These decisions reflect how much you value your body. You begin to notice patterns, that your mood is steadier, your sleep deeper, motivation higher. You realize that the small steps are the big ones. Every time you make a mindful choice, you're building momentum toward a healthier, stronger version of yourself. It's not about perfection or discipline, it's about alignment with what your body truly needs. You don't have to change everything at once. You just have to start. Replacing one processed brand with a cleaner, nutrient-rich one is progress. Preparing a meal at home instead of reaching for something packaged is progress. Choosing real ingredients over artificial ones is progress. Over time, these choices redefine your habits and your health. The beauty of small, intentional change is that it grows naturally. Once you feel the difference in your energy, focus and mood, you won't want to go back. You'll start to crave real food because it feels better, not because you're forcing yourself to be healthy. The idea of health becomes less about restriction and more about empowerment. A lifestyle built on clarity, energy, and purpose. You understand that your body listens to what you give it. It responds with strength when you feed it right. Even something as ordinary as choosing a better bagel can become an act of transformation, a symbol of consistency and care that reshapes the way you live each day.